Welcome back. Well, now joining me is Tiago Marques, Head of Content Africa at DMG Events, the team behind the Global African Hydrogen Summit 2025. Now, this landmark event will take place from the 9th to the 11th of September in Windhoek here in Namibia, under the theme Ambition in Action, Fueling Africa's Green Industrial Revolution. The summit is set to bring together governments, global investors, industry leaders and innovators to position Africa at the center of the green hydrogen economy. With Namibia emerging as one of the continent's frontrunners in this space, the summit promises to be a pivotal moment for shaping Africa's clean energy future. Tiago, good evening and thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, as I mentioned, the theme is ambition in action. So starting there, it's very bold and visionary to start with. But what strategic narrative does DMG Events aim to, build through this theme? And how does it reflect Africa's evolving role in the global energy transition?
So thank you so much. So in 2024, we started the summit with the motto of from ambition to action. And we really saw the past year that particularly in Namibia, there's been huge progress in terms of hydrogen, but also clean energy projects. So we decided this year to really move from ambition to action, to already put ambition in action. We have already projects, for example, like the High Iron project, which was started in March and officially opened in May. And this year at the summit, we'll actually look into the creation of these global hydrogen value chains, where we have already Namibian projects selling green iron to Japan. So we're going to learn about this project and many more. So definitely the ambition is in action.
Now, as Head of Content Africa, how do you steer storytelling from branding to speaker lineups to ensure, that the summit not only educates, but also inspires concrete action and investment?
Absolutely, that's a great question. We always start with a group of experts. So we have an executive board that includes members from Namibia, from countries from all around the world, and also experts from institutions around the planet. For example, UNIDO, the International Energy Agency, banks like the World Bank, etc. And we always start with a conversation around what's key, what's more relevant for all participants. So Namibia will be storytelling and sharing their current developments, but beyond Namibia, because the event really is Pan-African, we'll be also showcasing countries like South Africa, Kenya, Mauritania, Egypt, Algeria, etc. So we always start with the group. We also reach out to civil society, also to members of the government across these countries, and really experts from all around the world that help us shape a program. This year I'm particularly excited because we have three programs. We have the strategic conference, we have the technical seminar, but also a designated youth program where we're going to welcome 100 students. So it's a long storytelling process, but it's coming to fruition the next couple of days.
The summit, Tiago, is expected to include masterclasses, leadership roundtables, and also awards. Tell us a bit more about this.
Absolutely. So not only we'll have the three programs at the strategic conference, the technical seminar, and the youth program as well, but we have a lot of other different features that really will help people and participants not only learning more about the topics, but also doing networking. The master classes will be tomorrow at the Avani Hotel. We have 4 master classes, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and there will be workshops. There will be practical. So for all participants that want to learn more about the industry, what are the opportunities, what's the latest project, how can I also get involved in the hydrogen sector. But also then we have the leadership roundtables, who are designed for conversations a bit more in depth, and this will be taking place in parallel. And also, of course, we'll be having project investment roundtables, where we really bring investors and projects that are starting their journey in terms of the energy sector. And I'm very proud to say that this year, out of 50 projects, 25 are from Namibia. So a lot to explore over the next 3 days.
With participation from 60+ countries, youth representation and diverse sectors, how does the summit ensure, an inclusive platform, especially amplifying voices from emerging markets and also, of course, the youth innovators?
Absolutely. So we will, one thing that we really ensured was throughout the programs that's why we have the have their voice heard during the event. So we have, like you said, 60 countries. Some of them will be showcasing their latest projects and the latest updates within the strategic summit. Some countries will be represented in the masterclasses. Others will be showcasing what's happening in the technical seminar. And also, we cannot forget the exhibition floor. So we have 30 plus exhibitors, so stands where we're also going to have the delegate lounge, and a lot of the showcasing posters, etc., will be shared through the exhibition. So there's a lot happening, and we really want to ensure. And I think the youth piece is very important. So we literally developed and designed the youth program for the new students, for also youth that has just finished their courses and their masters, and they're looking for opportunities in the sector. So we really try to be as inclusive as possible. We will also be having the civil society speaking. We have sessions with them as well, and specific sessions and speakers as well from civil society. So we're really hoping that this year you not only have government, private sector, the CEOs, but we're really bringing together the whole value chain: students, civil society, local businesses, startups, and more.
Well, as you're aware, Namibia is positioning itself as a green hydrogen leader with multi-billion-dollar projects under development currently. How is the summit shaping the narrative of African leadership and agency in the global green hydrogen economy, Tiago?
Absolutely. I think the most important in terms of agency, like you said, it's collaboration. And I think one of the key themes behind this ambition in action is really looking at partnerships. One also of the motto of the event is really fueling Africa's green industrial revolution. You want to create projects, the government of Namibia and all the governments around Africa, in collaboration with international partners, are developing these projects. They all have different stakeholders, all need to be included. So it's really through collaboration and partnerships. But then, of course, you are producing hydrogen, you are producing clean energy. You don't only want to do that to export. You want to utilize that to really industrialize. You want to utilize that, for example, like we're going to hear in the summit, how can you use hydrogen to also produce fertilizers? How can you actually boost the agricultural industry? So there's a lot happening over the next 2 days, 3 days that we will be hearing about.
And what storytelling tools, or rather digital platforms such as social media or live coverage, even post-summit media, are you leveraging to extend the summit's reach and engagement across Africa and globally?
So we have not only, of course, our channels, LinkedIn, etc. We will also working very closely with universities and with our stakeholders in terms of academia. So we're planning also to live stream some of the sessions, and also really particularly to youth, so for universities, and really trying to maximize the opportunities online. Of course, what we're trying to do is to amplify the voices as much as possible. The strategic summit, the technical seminar, and the youth program, of course, the space is limited, but we really are trying to also amplify those voices through not only channels and partners, like media, etc., but also through the live streaming, etc. So hopefully, a lot of the participants that will not have the chance to come in person will be able to also through the channels see our discussions or learn. Also, we'll be sharing the presentations post-summit, so actually people can also learn more about what has been discussed. So we don't want it to be just what's happening within the room. We really want to get out and make sure that all of this information reaches as many people as possible.
Well, this is the second installation of the summit, Tiago. So looking beyond 2025, how do you envision the evolution of the Global Africa Green Hydrogen Summit?
I definitely envisage the evolution in terms of bigger and better, and particularly having the participation of more countries. Last year, you mentioned, of course, 60. Last year, we had about 30 countries. So this year, we have 60 plus countries. We have many more case studies being presented this year. We having participants this year flying from Tokyo, Japan. You have also speakers flying from China. You have speakers from Australia. You have speakers from America, from South America, inclusive. And I think we're really trying. I think we're really creating a movement. You know, you talked about boldness. That was very interesting, and I love that sort of bold concept. We're trying to be bold, ambitious, visionary, but also trying to really bring the whole world and the whole community to Namibia. Namibia is a country that is at the forefront of hydrogen and green energies. The government is extremely committed, and also the government of Namibia has been partnering and collaborating with governments all around the world, because the projects are not only the projects are not being developed per se. Namibia will collaborate with South Africa. Namibia will collaborate with Angola. Namibia and vice versa. Countries can learn from each other. Countries can utilize infrastructure, can also maximize benefits, etc. So that's what we're trying to do. On the long term, we want to see this movement getting bigger. We want to see more projects, investors, and project investment, and also we want to see more startups getting involved. I think one of the key things for the next edition really is to increase the amount of startups and projects that will submit their abstract. So this year we had about 50 plus abstracts that were submitted from around the world, and the short list of abstracts will be of companies and startups that were selected by the board. We actually built a board of investors from all around the world, from the World Bank, African Development Bank, IFC, European Investment Bank, a Bank of Namibia, a Bank of Capricorn Group, etc. So you have the local banks and the international lenders, and they will meet on site. And what I'm really hoping is that for next year, we can see the progress in terms of the startups will tell us we actually met on site. We met with key decision makers, we met with key investors, and through those discussions at the Global African Hydrogen Summit, our project has moved forward. We were given the opportunity, the support, technical, financial, etc., to really move to the next stage of our project. And my desire for the next edition really is to see these projects not presenting as an incubator and as a startup, but really evolving in the value chain. So that's my desire for next edition.
Tiago, thank you so much for your time, and all the best with the summit. We appreciate you speaking to us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
That was Tiago Marques, Head of Content for Africa at DMG Events, the team behind the Global African Hydrogen Summit taking place from the 9th to the 11th here in Windhoek. We'll be right back after this brief break.